Well, one of the first things I said I was going to help you learn to do was to change your air filter. So let's have a look at the Prado 120 and your vehicle won't be terribly different. The first thing you have to know how to do is how to open the bonnet. Now, I'm not being silly here. If you don't know how to open the bonnet, you wouldn't be the first person to not know. So on the Prado, I always get it mixed up because one is the fuel cap and one is the bonnet. Now the one that's most easily accessible towards the front, or towards facing you if you like, it's closer to you, is the fuel cap because it's open more often. This other one here is the bonnet, so we pull it up like that. Sometimes it'll be down here beside your right foot. They're all in different places. If you've got a European car, it might even be on the passenger side. So then you've got to find a little lever under here. And if you don't know where the location of your little lever is, get somebody who's lifted the bonnet before to show you. Okay, now we lift the bonnet up. In this case, it's held up by gas struts, but I don't trust them because they're getting old and I do need to replace them. So just be careful the bonnet doesn't shut on you if you've got an older vehicle. So now if we look under the bonnet of the Prado, we can see lots of stuff that we might not have any clue about. But what we're looking for is the air cleaner. And typically the air cleaner will be in a big black plastic box, something like this one, sometimes round in shape. And it will be either left-hand side or right-hand side of the car. And I'll have this big pipe, big rubber hose that is coming off it. All right. It will also typically connect to the side of the car. You can probably just make out the pipe here that's coming into the mudguard area, and it actually takes the air from in between the two panels of the car because there's less dust there, and it's also less likely to be impacted by water. If you've got a snorkel on here, just be aware that that snorkel is not waterproof down here in these fittings necessarily, so it doesn't make the car a submarine, but we'll talk about that in another episode. So once you've found what you think is the air box, as it's called, it should have some kind of clips like this, and sometimes it will have big plastic kind of pins or pegs at the back or at the side that help align it. So you'll see that once you start to pull it apart. So you undo these clips. There can be 3, there can be 4, it just depends on the car. There's one way down in here, there's one over this way somewhere. I think, can't see with the camera. There it is, way down the bottom there. Right. And then you can lift up your lid of your airbox and your filter will fall out, or you'll have to lift it out depending on the make of car. Now this one, there's a little bit of dust in the top of the airbox. That's a bit concerning. So I might go ahead and replace this filter because it looks like the seal here is just not really sitting properly. It's got a little twist in it, which has resulted in a little bit of dust getting above the filter. It's okay for dust to be down here for this particular filter, because this filter here, this is the dirty side. I'm just going to have a look at that. Yeah, it looks like the rubber has been kind of squashed in the wrong place a bit.